Are you thinking about moving to Vermont? Before you pack your bags, here are some things that you need to know. Vermont might seem like a dream with the small town charm and the beautiful landscapes, but there's some serious downsides that might make or break the move for you. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 5 biggest reasons why people regret moving to Vermont, and number 5 might surprise you a little bit. By the way, my name is John Duda. I'm a Vermont realtor with eXp Realty. If you're looking to buy, sell, or even invest into real estate, my contact information is below with my email number, even calendar link to book a one-on-one call. But let's dive into it. Alright, so regret number 1 is brutal winters and harsh weather in Vermont. As you may know, Vermont is one of the coldest states out there. Sometimes it can hit -10, -20 degrees. On top of that, we're getting 100 inches of snowfall on a yearly basis, sometimes more than that in certain areas. So what that means is you want to make sure you're dressing accordingly. Make sure you wear 2 to 3 layers with a fleece, maybe a thermal, a vest, and then jacket on top of that. Get some hand warmers, maybe some heated socks. Make sure you're dressing warm. On top of that, make sure you plan accordingly for work. For example, we do get a lot of snow again, so you want to make sure you get a snow plow. If you don't have someone that's going to plow the roads, make sure you get a snowblower or a shovel. But you're going to break your back if you do that, so I highly recommend getting a snowblower. Cool little hack I like to do is using my leaf blower to blow off my car in the wintertime. It helps out a lot. Now, heating costs are a real thing in Vermont. During the wintertime, you should expect to pay a lot for heating, whether it's going to be propane or electric. Your bills are going to skyrocket, so make sure you're finding a very energy efficient home. That's not going to be a lot of money. Lastly, if you're not a fan of the cold and winter activities like snowmobiling, snowshoeing, skiing or snowboarding, make sure you find something you love doing in the wintertime, because winters can be very long, 3 to 4 months sometimes, and seasonal depression is a real thing, so just find something you love doing. So regret number 2 is the high cost of living in Vermont plus the high property taxes, or the taxes in general. Vermont actually ranks 5th in the US right now, which is absolutely crazy. Just last year, the average town and city saw on a 14% increase in property taxes, and some towns saw as high as 38%. A large reason due to this is lack of commercial sector in Vermont. We're a very small state. We don't have a lot of commercial here, so what that means is the residents are covering things like, the public transport systems or the school systems as well. Other than that, you have things like groceries. We are a very green state. We like to produce things locally and organically here, which makes total sense. I'm all about that. And Vermont is a very, very green state. We're promoting energy programs. The people in Vermont actually cover these programs to promote things like solar or energy efficient things like HVACs and heat pumps as well. So regret number 3 is going to be the limited job opportunities in Vermont. If you're looking for a high paying job, I don't recommend moving here. I recommend moving to Boston, maybe Hartford, or maybe even New York City. Find a high paying job. If you do move to Vermont, I recommend living in places like, Burlington, South Burlington, Williston, where you can work in a job with healthcare, maybe IT or engineering. Those are the highest paying jobs in Vermont. A lot of jobs, they don't offer a lot of income, plus the median house price here is very expensive, so it's very hard to afford a home. Now, Vermont is perfect for people that can work from home, so you don't have to go to work. You can stay at home, especially during the winter times when they deal with the snow. A lot of people do move to Vermont if they have the ability to work from home. That's a great opportunity. Some other good professions are going to be, I would say, a sales job, where you can make 100K to 150K a year as well. Regret number 4 is just being very rural and having an isolated lifestyle, which some people absolutely love. But if you're used to the city life, it might be very difficult for you. The reason why I say that is some areas of Vermont are very rural. It can take a half hour to hour, even 2 hours sometimes to reach any entertainment, maybe go to any grocery stores, or get any kind of food at all. So you want to make sure you're planning in advance. Myself personally, I'm from Burlington, Vermont, which is super dense. Now we're in Jericho, Vermont, so it's a happy medium. Some perks of living in rural Vermont are going to be the outdoor activities like hiking, snowmobiling, maybe ATVing, or just the simple things, right? So make sure you plan in advance. What we do is we actually go to Costco every week. We stock up on food, but you want to make sure you have transportation, right? Make sure you have a reliable vehicle that can handle the snow in the wintertime. So make sure you're planning accordingly as far as living in rural Vermont. Lastly, regret number 5 is the politics and the culture shock in Vermont. Vermont is a very liberal state. If that's not your vibe, it may feel politically one-sided at times. Vermont does like people like Bernie Sanders or even Biden, so you do want to keep that in mind. And some areas of Vermont might be stuck in the past. What I mean by that is they're kind of stuck in their ways, a little bit old school, which is totally fine. They're not as progressive, but Burlington is pretty much up there. Now, one good thing about Vermont is a very welcoming state. Although you might not feel welcome right off the bat, keep in mind Vermonters are friendly and they're all about community, being tight-knit here, so that's a great thing for you. So is Vermont the right place for you? It all depends on your lifestyle and your priorities. If you're thinking about making a move to Vermont, do not go into this blind. I actually specialize in helping people relocate to Vermont, picking the right home. Whether you have questions about the right community, the right home type, or even the local lifestyle, make sure you get in contact with me below.